Hello and good day, everyone. Welcome back to ArteRamah podcast, the second episode. My name is Sophia, your host for today, and we are here at Malaysian Parkinson's Disease Association here in Kuala Lumpur. Why? Because we are organizing an event soon called SULAM Express Without Words, where there will be two phases. First phase will be here at MPDA, where we will be interacting with Parkinson's patients through various activities. And the second phase will be held at UiTM Puncak Perdana, where we will be exhibiting and showcasing the artworks done in phase 1. Are you excited? Today, we are accompanied by an amazing person called Sara Lew, who is the president of the Malaysian Parkinson's Disease Association. How are you today, Miss Sara?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me today for the interview.
I'm really excited to be talking to you today. Are you feeling okay?
I'm doing great. A little bit nervous.
It's okay. We're just having a casual conversation, so we'll just
okay.
take it slowly.
Yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, I'm just gonna ask some basic questions first.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first question is, what is Parkinson's? Can you enlighten us a little bit about the disease and how does it affect the patient's daily lives?
Parkinson's disease is a neurological, degenerative, and chronic disease. It is degenerative because it will only go from bad to worse, and chronic because it doesn't go away. So basically, in a layman's term, how it affects a person, nobody knows the cause, but it affects the back of the head is the substantia nigra, where the brain cells that generate dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter, generally about 70% of the brain cells had died. And that's where the symptoms become very dominant. But generally, when the person with Parkinson's, by the time he is diagnosed, he would have like a few years behind him that the symptoms will actually be quite, visible. Sometimes he doesn't know, but the family members should, will be able to see it. It's just like walking very slowly. That's called bradykinesia, one of the symptoms. And then you have body stiffness and tremors. But tremors doesn't affect everybody. It's about 70% of the people will show tremors. And then you have postural instability. These are the four symptoms: bradykinesia or slowness, stiffness of the body, imbalance, and tremors. And basically, we call them the motor symptoms. But Parkinson's itself, they also have the non-motor symptoms. Besides the four dominant symptoms, long before they have Parkinson's, you can even see when they write, the writing is very small. They're very small, and some of them might have constipation. There are other signs that showing that they have Parkinson's.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So those are like the physical difficulties they face.
We call them the motor symptoms.
The motor symptoms.
And then the non-motor symptoms are like, other things like difficulties in sleeping.
Yeah.
They have nightmares, and sometimes they do have depression. When a person is diagnosed with Parkinson's, many people think that it is only physical, it is only mobility. But we have to focus on sometimes the non-motor symptoms that can be more debilitating than the physical part. Voice problem is also part of physical part, but other symptoms can affect the well-being of the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like these symptoms that they face, like how does it affect them mentally, emotionally? How do they feel?
Actually, normally when a person is diagnosed with Parkinson's, from what I see in my years here, nobody really is happy when they're diagnosed with a condition, whether it's a disease or that. But many of them could be in denial. They can go into a non-acceptance stage, and they become very depressed. Why me and all that? So, but there are people who come out of it fast. I have to seize the condition, the situation, and I need to know more, because misinformation can also lead to a lot of problems. So, and that's why it's important that they seek out other people. A group like a support group like us is where the people with Parkinson's can converge. When they come together, they share experiences, and they feel that they're not alone. But I think the most important part is that when you're diagnosed with Parkinson's, normally you haven't seen another person with Parkinson's, and when you come by, you see other people with Parkinson's, you tend to ask questions and you learn from each other. Misinformation, some of them may think, oh, am I going to die? Or I'm going to go crazy, So getting to know another person or other person, they will know more about the disease. So they have to come to a grip of it.
Yeah. So
it depends on how they accept the condition, because acceptance is very important. And once they accept the condition, they will try to make the journey smoother, with better management, with better knowledge, with better social interaction and community.
Right. So they gain support from the community itself, because
Yes.
they're around people that have similar difficulties as well, right?
Yeah, because the community does not comprise only the people with Parkinson's. The family members who are caregivers, they need to be well informed as well, because they are taking care of the people with Parkinson's. Not only the caregivers, but the community also comprises the people, the healthcare professionals, the neurologists, the doctors. And because Parkinson is something like, it's just not about medication. It's a multidisciplinary thing. So you meet with a lot of people from, all different type of discipline, and then you learn, and then you try to use it for your own management of your condition.
I see. So you mentioned the family, right?
Yes,
As
yes,
caregivers.
yes.
So how big of a role the family is when how much does family support influence the patient's well-being?
It is very important, because when someone in the family is diagnosed with Parkinson's, the whole family is affected as well, because they take part in the caring. Even if they hire somebody to help them, but they still become the core of the support group in the family. And I would say that just as much as the patient needs to know more about Parkinson's, to more be well informed of Parkinson's, so do the caregivers. I remember a case where, in fact, I see many cases, Parkinson's is, like I say, a neurological condition, and there is not enough dopamine, and because of the dopamine, the messages, sometimes you cannot say walk, and you walk just like as easy as we do. So I have cases when family members, they don't understand the condition. So this very person is here doing exercise, and sometimes when someone else is moving, but the person is unable to move the leg, but the message is sometimes it goes down quite slow, but the family member become very impatient. Move your leg. But the more that the family urge him to move, but the patient becomes so nervous, and all the more he couldn't move. But what the family members doesn't understand, that he is not like a normal person without Parkinson's, and sometimes the message doesn't go down, so fast. So it's very important that people with Parkinson's and the family members, they learn together about Parkinson's, the condition, and how to manage it together. That support from family members is really very important.
That's true. That's true. If it's okay, if I may ask, are there like family members that probably do not give enough care to these patients?
I think in part is that because people with Parkinson's, when normally, the average age is about 60, although there are people with Parkinson's who have been diagnosed when they are below 50. Below 50, we call that people with young onset Parkinson's, but normally the average age is about 60 years old. So basically, many of them, they have spouses who are around the same age. They also we consider the elderly. So when your loved one is diagnosed with Parkinson's, they have to come in to take part of the caring. So sometimes I think that part can be physically strenuous for the spouse, the family members, and and then the children are working.
Yeah, right.
So it's not that they don't love the parents, but they have the family, they're young, the children, young families. So sometimes that care is very difficult to come by. And if they want to hire a helper, to take care, it costs money.
Yeah,
So it is challenging in that part. I see many people who are unable to take even the person with Parkinson's come and join our activities because the children are working. Like, it's like if today is a weekday, like our activities will be on Friday. Sometimes the children, and now the family members, the children, they are small number, not our time when we have more than a dozen, so the resources are pretty difficult. I feel that it's quite hard at times. Yeah, so the patient have to stay at home.
It's a lot of balancing to do, right?
Yes, a lot of balancing and planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've talked about Parkinson's.
Okay.
Let's talk about this association.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe we can talk about when Malaysian Parkinson's Disease Association was established and what inspired the formation of the Parkinson's community.
I think, when you are diagnosed with Parkinson's, and then you are alone, and sometimes you don't even know what it is. I think in those days, without the social media, you don't even know what it is. I mean, I can quote an example of my father. My father had Parkinson's, I think, before the formation of MPDA. I think it was around 1990 because my father had Parkinson's for 21 years before he died in 2011. So he might have it at about 1990. At the time, there was no support group in the country. And he didn't even know that he got Parkinson's, and he didn't even know what was Parkinson's. And we family, at that time we were young. We were still adult, but not that so young. We also didn't know what about Parkinson because we were so busy with our career. And he thought it was arthritis. Sometimes you have body stiffness, it causes you pain, and he thought that it was that. And he actually was depressed. He didn't know what it was, and there was no support group. But fortunately, my brother at that time was studying in Taiwan, but Taiwan was more like advanced in the sense of information, and that they had books on Parkinson's. So my brother sent books to my father, and that's how my father learn and understand more about Parkinson's. And actually in those days too, you didn't even know that they have to look for neurologists. They actually went to China. Dulu at that time, they actually everything they go to China. But at the end of it, of course, they know that they have a neurologist in Houston, Malaya. So how I say, yeah, so what I say that is not enough information. Not enough information. So and that's how the people here in Malaysia they felt it. So somewhere in 1993, the early pre-planning, they started to form a group. They tried to send up maybe through word of mouth at that time to get a group of people to form an association. Maybe the picture is there. So, and then that's how they form together because it is actually a thing about community. You are not alone.
Yeah.
So so they started to form this association in 1994. It was established, approved by the government, the Registrar of Society, on 12 September 1994. So my father, I think they advertised in the Chinese newspaper. Then my father asked me to be his driver and his interpreter because he only speaks Chinese. So of course I could not say no. So they had the first meeting at the university hospital. I went with him, and I had to be very attentive. I have to make sure what the speaker says. I had to to convey it to my father the right way. So my father was informed, and then I was young then, and then they asked me to help them, and I couldn't say no. I say yes, and I help them, and then you see the rest of history. So I'm here 31 years later. I'm still here.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're grateful you're still here.
But then the association was formed, and the first 10 years we did not have a place.
Mhm.
So we actually go around asking for venue to host our meeting. At the time, it was about monthly. So when I joined them, at first I started out as a secretary, and later I arranged for, all these meetings and all that. And after 10 years, I was still working in the bank then. I was working in the bank, and then we had these meetings during weekends. So we decided that after a certain time, that we are like wondering, we do not have a centralized place where we can put our files when we can have a meeting. So we 2005, we rented this place, and another 10 years later, we purchased this place, and now we got a place to call our home, our center, and that's where people can converge here, like you all can converge here, and there's nothing like having a place on your own when our documentation can be centralized. People can come here. Yeah.
And it's more comfortable that way
Yeah.
as well.
We have come a long way. It's
Yeah.
32 years, and we
Yes.
have our own place here. Small, but we make the best out of this place.
I think it was really difficult back in the days for your communications, right?
Oh, yes. You can see the different time, because I've been here 31 years, and it started with my father, right? My father would have been like late 90s now, and I actually spent two generations. So in the early years, we don't have social media, we don't have what you call Zoom, we don't have anything. Oh dear, when we had meetings, we have to first type the letter first.
Right.
Then after you fold the letters, and you have to make my little nieces to help me to do all those things. They put into envelopes to go to the post office. It was not only tedious, but it was also very expensive, the stamps and all that. And information had to come in the form of booklets. We have our Greater Parkinson's, and it's so expensive to even print out one and send by post is expensive. Yes, it was, but now it is so different. Not only the generation is different, the people are around us, the next generation, our generation, they are more computer savvy. They know WhatsApp group, everything, information goes so fast, and we save a lot of money on postages and all this, also time. Yeah, I think it is very different. The two gap. Even now, a few cases where I know the parents had Parkinson's, and now the child had Parkinson's. That it is not really a genetic in the sense. Age is still the main factor, but you can see I see the parents, and then the child had Parkinson's now with us. They are in their 50s. Yeah.
You can see the patterns.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the passage of time also.
Yeah. Okay. So aside from the difficulties in communications, what other difficulties do you face when running MPDA?
You see, this association, normally all the support group Parkinson's, I'm referring to only Parkinson's in Malaysia, just like other patient group. Usually it is run by people who have the condition and the family members, and usually they are on voluntary basis. And our members, like our committee who help run this place, majority of them are either people with Parkinson's or caregivers. And as you know, they are quite also the age factor. So sometimes with the condition, they can't really give you the full physical involvement, So you think about lack of resources. And NGOs like us, although we are registered with the government, but we are not supported by the government in terms of funding.
Oh,
So we are on our own, and we have to depend on the public donation.
I see.
So the life or death of an association depends how well you run the association, how much money you have.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can just go belly up.
Oh, I see. So do you
Mm.
think the general public support is sufficient when it comes to managing and supporting the Parkinson's community?
I think generally people always say that, hey, I never know that there is a Parkinson's Association. But I feel that except for the like a cancer or some others really very the disease that is that what you call that affect a lot of people. But Parkinson's disease is more like it's an older group, and many people will only look up at it when someone in the family has Parkinson's. So I think awareness in Parkinson's is not as much as like cancer or other or stroke, that kind of condition. But stroke and cancer, it goes across the age group.
Yes.
Parkinson's is usually at the later stage. So of course, we still hope like what you are doing today, you are actually helping us to help promote Parkinson's. And I'm very glad today to see young people being involved in this condition, because many of the young people too, they say, hey, this is not my problem yet. I'm still young. My parents are still young, maybe in the 40s and 50s. But I always say, hey, it's going to be your problem later on, because the aging population is going to be a burden. So it is best to start now to create the awareness, so that we could get more governmental support to create the infrastructure to help the healthcare, so that when the parents or when they reach that age, they are all ready there, not not wait till they are there.
That's true.
So I think, but it's heartwarming to know that more young people are coming out to be involved in activities like Parkinson's Association and all that.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with the fact that us younger generations need to know about this as well, even though it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So
don't think that, hey, I'm young, my parents are still young, but you think that this is going to be an aging population. It is going to be my burden, because like in my generation, we have more than half a dozen of brothers and sisters. We help each other, we support each other. But you all usually have one or two, or small families, and you are taking care of both sides. And because of a good healthcare, the older generation is living longer life. So they'll be around for a while.
Yes. It's true. Okay, so let's talk about what activities or programs do you usually do within MPDA?
We want our members to come here, not only just to chit chat and talk to each other, to share experience, the social interaction part, but we also want to create activities, interesting activities, because Parkinson's disease is a movement disorder. They need to exercise. They need to move their limbs, and so that they'll be able to prevent the stiffness. You really need the exercise. So we organize activities like online. We have movement exercises. Then we have a creative dance, but yet it is about movement. We have every Thursday, we have social dance, when we really dance. And sometimes we have creative things like drumming, community drum circle. You think that you cannot drum, but actually you can. When everybody comes together, you kind of motivate each other. And we also have art. But our way of doing things is, as I said earlier, MPDA is not supported by the government, and we rely on the public for our finances. So the way to go is through collaboration. So we work with universities, with hospitals, and even with companies. So through the collaboration, they are able to give their resources to us. Like hospital, they have healthcare professionals. They come and give talk. And when they give talk, they don't charge us. But at the same time, it's part of their community services as well. And all, CSR, then they depart the information to our members. in all discipline, whether it is diet, whether it's physiotherapy, or even with dental care. Like recently we had it with University Malaya. So all this collaboration help us to save the resources and yet able to depart information on how to manage Parkinson's.
I see. So, like, you talked about these institutions and hospitals with collaborations as well. Maybe you can talk a bit about like some past projects or programs that is organized by MPDA and like how does it help the rehabilitation of these patients?
Yes, I mean, I can only I can say, like, just last month we have a team of students, final year students, dental students from UST Malaya, the dental faculty, and they came here. They gave talks on the how to take care of your about dental care, and then they also check, people with Parkinson's, their dental condition. I'm very happy with that because I people with Parkinson's, they seem to neglect their dental care. I see it through the years here, because in part because of the trembling hand, they might have problem with brushing their teeth and all that. And then with their certain age, the dental care, even if we have braces, we have your loose gums and all that. So I think this is very important.
I see.
Yeah, and we also, like, we are going to have, first time we have it with the film, theater and animation, and then you come in with this very interesting program. We have, so members are very happy. I think the way is to draw them here. You have Zumba, so it's the physical side. Then you bring out the creativity in them to art, and I think it is very good because many members with Parkinson's, they think that, hey, I have Parkinson's, I'm going to spend the rest of my life at home doing that, it's going to go downhill. But sometimes they didn't know that by joining the association, they have all this opportunity. Where would you have thought that if you didn't join this activity that you'll be doing batik, painting, just like recently, we also have one with UST Malaya as well. We did the art project, and with the art, they're going to go to be displayed at the UST Malaya public, what you call a gallery. So all these things they would never have thought, like just also recently, the group of our people with Parkinson's, they were invited by UKM, and then they did drumming, over there. So I think I would say, hey, would you have a chance, when you're diagnosed with Parkinson's, that today you'll be performing in UK and you'll be drumming in front of so many nurses and doctors and all that. So the activities.
You never know the possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, we have physiotherapists who as part of the CSR program, they come here to impart the knowledge, and then the members are able to learn some tips, and even the caregivers as well, and then they can go home and learn and apply them.
Okay, so how effective do you think art activities help these Parkinson's patients?
I think the important thing is that the people with Parkinson's and their family members must make effort to come out and seek for more information. But we do have some members who wouldn't want to come out, who wouldn't want to be seen, who would just stay at home and think that, and live the rest of their lives out there, So, of course, some of them have their own private activities, they do their own exercises and all. But I can see that people who are not isolating themselves, they come out to seek for more information. I think that is very important. So, joining the association, even it's not this association or any other groups, you've got to interact with other people. You stay at home, you think a lot of things, and so you go outside, you get inspired as well. You see things, you might relearn, unlearn things as well.
Yes, and you get to learn new skills.
And be motivated by other people in the same situation as you are. And then you can, you think that you can't do it, you see another person, hey, he can do it, I can do it. Then you somewhere you do it together. So I think it's more like just beside being there, but being encouraged and motivated.
So, talking about activities, right?
Mm.
Which activity are you most excited about later in phase 1 when we come here?
Oh, I like the batik.
You're excited about that one?
I batik because it's something that we don't get to do it.
Oh,
Batik and Zumba as well. I love because Zumba comes with a nice music. So I think our members would love that. I think most of them are very interesting. And then I'm also very happy that you have a team of young people, the students that will be around. And, our members with Parkinson's, they are very happy when they see young people around, because it shows that they are not alone, and even the younger people cares about the condition. And they are very happy, actually, the people, our community, when they come and ask for information, they're very happy to share. Because by sharing to others, they 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 understand the condition better. They treat them better. Also, they know what they are. I mean, many people think that people with Parkinson's, because of their muscle expression, they might be having what called Alzheimer, or they must have be demented on all that, because no expression, very fierce. But when they come to talk to other people, then they realize that they are actually good. So people treatment also, it's all a better understanding, a better awareness. The way that interaction towards them is also different. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to younger generations when it comes to highlighting Parkinson's disease?
As I said earlier, Parkinson's disease, when you say it's usually affect the elderly population, I mean, they say that it's like 60%. When you're 60 years old, it's about 1% of the population has Parkinson's. And as the age goes up, like 80 years old and above, is about 3%. And of course, the young people think, hey, it's not my turn yet, and my parents are still young. So I think it's very important that the young people, they need to understand the condition. You might not be there yet, but your grandma might be there, and then later on. But for you, it's very important to be involved in the to advocate for better healthcare conditions, so that when you reach there, they are all ready for you. Not till it's so late, So
that's understandable. Okay, so do you have any last words you like to say before we end today's episode?
I think my last word would be, as I told you earlier, I got involved because I had my father with Parkinson's, and he had it for 21 years. So I wasn't the main caregiver. I was a secondary caregiver. My late mother was the primary caregiver. But I got a lot of siblings to help me. And my aunt, my father's sister, also had Parkinson's, but he lived till 97, and she died a few years ago. So I think my personal experience with my father helps me to be involved in this place. I live with Parkinson's in an indirect way. So it helps me in my job. And I also get inspired by people with Parkinson's, their tenacity, their determination. And through the last 3 decades, I've seen them, each one of them have their own strength and their own weaknesses. But their their tenacity, they're determined to fight the condition, makes me difficult to leave this place. They are the people that make me stay for this long.
Because despite the difficulties, they
become friends. They become friends because of the long period of time here. I knew them in their early journey till the decade. Some last many years, 20 years, even 20 over years. Some who are still around from the time when I joined them, although the number has decreased. But it's the friendship. I see them through the whole journey. Many of them from the beginning, they were diagnosed, they came here, and some of them passed on. So there is a kind of like a bond that make it difficult for me to leave. There's a friendship and that's formed.
That's very understandable.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts
Thank
and
you.
your experiences to us. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited for us to come here again
Yeah.
and interact with the patients.
I look forward to it. That's 2 weeks from now, right?
Yes.
It's 2 Saturdays from now. And I look forward to having a family, no, our members here. I always love to have to see them around,
Yeah.
and I'm really happy to see them that they become part of the community and happy to be here to learn things. It's kind of very motivating,
Yes.
yeah, encouraging.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's going to be motivating and encouraging for all of us students coming
Thank you.
here.
And
So,
I think they would really love to have the to be with you all. And I'm quite sure many of you have come with very, interesting thing. Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
So that's it for today's episode. And just as a fresh reminder, we're gonna have our SULAM Express Without Words soon on the 26th and 27th June for the first phase. And the second phase will be going on the 2nd and 3rd July at UITM Puncak Perdana. So do await our production. So before we end, do follow us at ARTERA Creates on all social media platforms and see you next time.